Hello and welcome. For this month's Walk and Talk, I want to share with you one of my favorite places. And normally I keep this very much to myself, a sacred space that's my holiday. And there's something about this year, something about this community that we have that's very small at the minute and growing, and we'll talk about more of that towards the end of the month. But right now, it feels a safe space to share with you something that I hold very dearly and has been an important part of the Stillness in Action method, and the connection with nature and bringing it more alive by giving it form and shape and bringing consciousness to the different elements and the quality and the energy that each of them brings. So to start today, we're just going to walk a little, and when we've walked through noticing the transition, here is the theme for this month: the transition from one natural environment to another natural environment, and how the energy shifts as we do that. And here today, this morning, we're just going to explore how the different qualities of the different natural elements allow us to transition from one activity to another with grace and with harmony and with centeredness. So I'm leaping ahead of myself. Let us just experience this transitioning from here we are in the forests of Les Landes, a stairway, because you can see perhaps down the side, this forest would not be very easy to walk down if you were just in the wilds of the forest. And yet this stairway, created by humans, created by us, makes it a beautiful place to be and gives us access to an incredible environment. And I love walking this in bare feet. So I train my feet. So for the last month or so, I've been walking around bare feet, so that when I come here, it feels comfortable. I'm not bothered about all the different textures. I actually enjoy the different textures. So the textures I'm walking on right now is and I'm still learning how to use this. Here we go. There are all the pine leaves and the bits of bark and twigs. And I can feel the coolness of the forest. And I'm surrounded by the green of the leaves and the tall trees. Yeah, I'm still learning. Here we go. These pines, of course it's Les Landes, so full of pine trees reaching up high into the sky. And so there's so many things that change: the texture of the ground, the coolness of the forest, the smell of the trees, that pine smell, fresh pine. With scrub oak, not huge oaks like we imagine them in England, for example. The scrub oak, they're kind of more sturdy, lower to the ground, spread out sideways more than growing up, staying in the cool environment. And here we are, coming out into the open space. And first it's grass, and then it's sand of the beach. There's something very calming about the sand, walking in sand, because unlike walking on earth where you still have the footprint of your feet, walking in loose sand, the sand touches every part of the sole of the foot. And I think that's what makes it so resourcing. each step I can feel every part of the sole of my foot. And whether I'm in dry sand or wet sand, it changes again. The how I walk, the how to be centered walking. And feeling the earth really allows me to connect downwards to the ground. And here, behind me now, as I turn, it's an enormous expanse of water. It's a huge lake. And you're seeing the reeds there at the edge of the sandbank. And beyond that, a vast, vast lake, expanse of water. Coming round to the beach. Forest behind me. And it's the September sun, so it's not as harsh as the sun in the high summer. It's just a little gentler light, a gentler heat. And as I walk through the waters, you can hear the rippling. You can see the rippling of the sand with the water. And there's a coolness again, but it's not a coolness of the air so much as a coolness in the feet and the sensation on my skin of walking through the water. And this is where I come in the mornings. Every morning when I'm here. Now. I now come every morning to watch the sunrise and do my morning practice. A mixture of Qigong and Tai Chi and swimming. And then sitting on the beach and with a meditation. And it took me a while, but early mornings used to be active. Used to be come down for go out, have a skiing, water skiing, high intensity, lots of gear, lots of equipment, lots of noise, lots of coordination between people to make that work. And I love it, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love that full high intensity water skiing when every part of your body is coordinated with the boat, with the driver, with the people watching out for you, and preferably without too many other people on the lake, so it's calm. So it's a high intensity, high demand activity. Oh my God, one feels great after it. And yet I came to enjoy this time I had to myself on the beach more than I enjoyed the water skiing. Because somehow it informs me, it resources me, and in a more reliable way. It's simpler. It's a simpler way to resource ourselves and to experience in depth the richness of each element in nature. I can feel the fluidity and the cleansing of the water, especially when I go fully into swim. Every morning it's a cleansing. And doing the practice, the Tai Chi practice in the water on the sand is intense in its own way, because balancing each time you make a move, the sand moves with you. Each time you move through the water, there's a slight resistance, and the whole body has to adjust to that. Sitting on the beach to do the meditation, surrounded by all these elements, and And look at the sky. I mean, it's just an amazing, open, beautiful blue sky. And especially at sunrise, but even today, particularly with the clouds, it's full of character and features. Just takes my breath away. Just takes my breath away. And yeah, the breath. It's easier to be conscious of the breathing. And I come down in the mornings and there's usually a few birds. There's a couple of herons that I think nest here annually because I haven't seen them this morning, but they're my friends. I look out for them and I have the impression that they look out for me. And coming here is important too, being conscious of this space, of this place, of the beauty, of what each element offers us, I think enriches the element itself, enriches nature. I have a wonderful story here. So out on the reeds one morning, a very bizarre, it's just this story came to me, so I'm assuming it's to be shared. I came out here swimming in my morning practice and everything was covered in ladybirds. I mean, it was covered in ladybirds. All the reeds, they were in the water. I couldn't possibly have rescued them all, but I took as many as I possibly could on my arm. And if they were on the reeds, they were still safe, they could fly. But the ones that are in the water, I was picking them up on my arms and bringing them to the beach, letting them dry out until they could fly safely. And that following autumn, in the top of the house that we had then in Les Yvelines near Paris, big windows that opened and closed, ladybirds came. Ladybirds came and hibernated there for the winter. All the window frames were absolutely full of ladybirds. I've never seen so many ladybirds. And it just felt like somewhere in the universe, the ladybirds knew that it was a safe space. It was a safe place to come and hibernate for the winter. Miracles happen. Miracles happen when we bring our consciousness into unity, into harmony with nature. So you might be asking what this has to do with the topic of transitions. So it occurred to me this morning, and this is what I love about the Stillness in Action community, because things arise from this community, from our engagement with each other. So it's not just about, it's the small transitions. And when we're transitioning from one activity to another, mostly we don't pay attention to the transition. We just literally move from one activity to the other and expect ourselves to be able to turn up for that next activity, whatever it is, as if nothing had happened, as if it's normal to do that. And actually, today there's not so much routine, there's not so much rhythm. There's so many different demands, and we switch with technology. There's no travel time to make the transitions. We're switching from one activity to another at high speed. So this is about opening up the space for transition. And just as we transition from the forest to the beach, the grass beach, and then the sand beach, and then the water, and the water on the beach to the water, the vast expanse of the water on the lake, we need that time to transition from one activity to the next. And it's not just transitioning from one activity to the next. The secret about these transitions is that we shift energy, we shift the quality, we shift who it is that we need to show up as for the different engagement that we're about to step into. So it might be, do you know what, I think for now this is enough. We will explore the details of what that might look like, of the different energies as the month progresses, when we would look for the energy of water, using energy of water to transition from one activity to the next, or sand, the energy of earth, and calling in that connection with the earth to transition from what we were doing to what we're about to be stepping into. And we're going to explore each element as we go through this month. So I'm wishing you a great start to this month. And thank you for coming and joining me here. One of my favourite places. Very, very different from where I live in the mountains, of course. And I am delighted actually to be sharing this with you. Go well. Stay in touch. And a heads up, right at the beginning of this month, we are going to have a call at the end of the month. So the last Monday, I will put in a time so that you can put it in, but please, there'll be a note here on this first opening of the transitioning at the closing of the month, for a call on our last Monday of the last touch base of this month. So I go well. Bye.